It's extremely important to understand that if your desire is to be someone who is fit and healthy all year round, then the way that you think about your goal is extremely important to consider. First of all, it's very important to understand that the goal is not to be a person who has low body fat. I'm going to say that again because that was probably confusing to you. The goal is not to be a person who has a good body, but rather the goal is to be someone who lives the lifestyle of someone who has a good body. This is how every single person who is successful in their fitness operates. You will not keep the weight off if you reach your goal of getting the perfect body, but have nothing to work towards and then lose the motivation to do good habits that aren't achieving anything. David Goggins is a good example of this. He was a product of a broken home and had extremely low self-esteem. At the start of his journey, he weighed almost 235 kilograms. On one morning, when he was sitting around watching TV without much intention or purpose, a commercial for the US Navy SEALs flashed before him, and it ignited something in him. He was 23 at the time, and he decided to set his heart on becoming a Navy SEAL. It was not going to be easy for him, however, because he had to lose 50 kilograms in less than 3 months to be able to enter the Navy. His plan basically boiled down to eat very little, drink a ton of water, run and work out like crazy. And in less than 3 months, he lost 50 kilograms. He is the only person in Navy SEALs history to be in 3 Hell Weeks in 1 year. Hell Week is 130 hours of continuous training, and he suffered from double pneumonia, stress fractures, he broke his kneecap, and in his last Hell Week, one of the guys passed away. If you look at David Goggins today, dude still looks amazing. That's because David Goggins understands he has to live the lifestyle of someone who looks like David Goggins. Next, I'd like to address something. It seems like many fit people are more successful because they are naturally more disciplined than you. This is actually wrong. Successful people experience temptations the exact same way that you and I and everyone else experience temptations. However, the only difference between people who are fit and stay fit to those who are unsuccessful is their identity. The reason that they stay fit is because, put simply, they have the self-identity that they are a person who is fit and healthy. What that means is that they are unwilling to sacrifice that identity for the temporary pleasure of anything that doesn't align with them being a healthy person. For example, one of these people might say no when you offer them a cookie at work. And this is not because they feel less temptation than you to eat the cookie. This is because their identity of being a healthy person is more important to them than the pleasure of eating that cookie. When you truly cultivate this identity, it is actually harder to eat the cookie because of how unwilling you are to let go of what is important to you. Okay, so how do we build an identity? There are 3 ingredients that will allow you to cultivate any identity that you want to have for yourself. 1. Willingness to change. If you are not willing to change your behavior, you cannot change your identity. The first step is to be willing to change your behavior. 2. Integrated with others. Something I have learned in my life is that nothing is important unless you have other people in your life to experience it with. Put simply, if you are the only person on this planet, you probably won't work out. That means that doing this for yourself isn't working. Instead of doing this for yourself, do it for the other people around you. If your goal is to be healthy so that all the people in the world that are most important to you can look at you and smile knowing that you are the healthiest you can be. Imagine vividly the happiness on their face, your mum or your sister or your best friend, knowing that you are taking the best care of yourself. This is what will allow you to show up even when you don't want to. 3. Feedback and measurable progress. Studies on the flow state have shown us that feedback and measurable progress are essential components to our motivation towards a goal. While it might be tempting to use the reactions of other people around you as feedback, I request that instead that you use the way that you feel and your health as feedback. As for measurable progress, I want you to focus not on a goal weight, but rather focus on the lifestyle metrics that will inevitably lead you to your goal. For example, I have a goal for a certain amount of calories every day. I have a goal to do gymnastics and volleyball every week. And I have a goal to be proud of the types of food I eat. All of these goals are measurable. I can measure the foods that I eat, I can measure the activity that I do, and I can measure the conscious effort I put towards any of my goals. If you follow these steps and only these steps, you will not only have a lifestyle that will build you the body that you want, but you will also have a sense of self-worth that is not dependent on the way that you look on any given day. I didn't mention this before, but now that your focus is on something that you have control over at this current moment right now, you are no longer judging yourself on something that you can't control. As you can imagine, The gains that you have in your mental health because of this are immense. I understand that watching a video is much more easy and more enjoyable than actually taking action. But now it's time for you to do the harder work that will actually get you to your goal. After this video, find a piece of paper and write down 3 things. 1. Write down who you were doing this for and how it would make them feel to see you happy and healthy. 2. Write down every lifestyle metric you can use to measure your goal. For example, calories, food types, physical activities. 3. Use the way that you feel and your health as your best feedback. Making these videos is quite honestly my favorite thing I've ever done in my life. If you thought it was a good video, then please go ahead and give me a like so I know that you enjoyed it. And if you really want to make my day, you can go ahead and subscribe. For now, that ends the wisdom that I am imparting to you, but don't fear, I'll be back shortly. Have a lovely rest of your day. Take care.